Welcome to this week's episode of Crazy Train with Jasmine St. Clair. I hope that everyone is enjoying everything so far. I can't believe it's been over a year. You guys have been religiously following me. And thank you very much for the new followers of this podcast. Make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube as well under Crazy Train Podcast. That's crazy with a K. And I'm still trying to get through the season, so I'm still taking my silver colloidal spray from Nature's Rings. I'm still not sick yet, thank God. So last week's interview was a lot of fun with Sophia Locke. She was an unusual guest because we shared a lot of the same views, especially when it comes to guys. But this week, I wanted to bring on a former beauty queen and someone from across the ocean who likes wrestling and who is a wrestler. Let's welcome Miss Nadia Sapphire. Because stupid mark questions are the worst because everyone's always asking the same thing over and over. It's like, okay, can I just hit reset or something, or just hit replay? It's like a broken fucking record. Thanks for joining us, by the way. I heard that you were a former beauty queen, which I could totally see. So you have to tell me about that because that's so cool to me. I love that.
Honestly, I look like shit today. I got off a flight in the middle of the night and my hair is just fucked from the sun. I haven't even washed it yet. So I look awful, so don't judge me on this. But yeah, when I was 17, I started doing beauty pageants. I'm 31 now. So I was runner-up Miss Swindon. Then I think the year after that I was in Miss Universe Great Britain. I was a finalist there. So I did a beauty pageants for about 3 years and then stopped. It was just something fun at the time. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's so much fun. I wanted to be a page 3 girl all my life. I still I might be too old to be a page 3 girl now, but I seriously, that's the only thing left is a page 3 girl. Were you ever on page 3? Because I think that's a big deal.
Oh my God. I was literally, funnily enough, I was actually looking at it the other day and I messaged a guy who I know works for one of the papers and I was like, how do I get on page 3? I would love to do it. But he doesn't work in that department. So, but yeah, I'd love to do it. How old have you got to be? Because I'm 31. You're a similar age to me, right?
You're so sweet. Oh my God. I never really partied at all.
Yeah.
It's all about skin rejuvenation. So I've been doing those PRP facials with the blood since I was 28 or 29. I've been doing them for years, long before whatever that girl's name is made them popular.
What, the Kardashians?
I say she looks like an inside of a used condom. That's what I call her. And that's just being really nice. So yeah, so I've been doing them for ages, and no, I'm way past 46.
No, you are. How old are you? You've got to tell us now.
You're so cute. I love you. Oh, I'm 50.
Fuck off.
No, I am.
No.
I don't have kids and I'm not married, which probably has everything to do with it.
You are not 50. Oh yeah. My God.
No, I use skin. I use serum, human growth factor serum, because we're humans, not plants. I just I go to the gym, I drink my water, I just do my shit. I think it's also my mom. My mom looks like my mom gets 40 and 50-year-old guys hitting on her, and I usually have to beat them off, get the fuck away from her. Do not talk to my mom. I will kill you. Well, my cousin got married in London and the DJ was hitting on her, and I took my champagne and I just threw it at him. I was drunk at that point. But I don't think they kicked me out of my cousin's wedding for that. I don't think I did anything wrong.
Oh my God, honestly, you know what? You've literally just blown my mind. You have literally just inspired me, because every year I'm oh my God, I'm a year older. And oh my God, if I could look as good as you when I'm 50, I could still be smashing the OnlyFans, still be doing everything and still making a ton of money. Everyone says to me oh, isn't it time to have kids yet? And I'm I don't want to have kids yet. I don't want to retire. I don't want to I love traveling. People are you're going to be lonely when you're older. And I'm thinking, will I though? Because you can have friends. You don't need children.
No, and plus I have a stuffed toy cat, and I have aspirations of being on page 3. Then I have a real cat, and I travel alone, so I have motorcycles as well. So I go riding. whoever tells you shit like about getting older, they're like so full of it. Plus you're wrestling, like wrestling, we're all sick in the head. You know that, like we're all sick in the
Not
head.
normal.
No, to us we're normal, right? But like we're sick in the head in a way because we're going back. I'm back doing stuff. You're doing stuff. You're going to keep doing stuff, you know.
That's like,
But that's like
who,
huh?
no,
What?
who puts their body in pain on purpose?
We do.
Exactly. Like literally.
No, but I appreciate the compliment. Hopefully, like all the skincare I'm using, um, hopefully I'm able to collaborate with someone in the UK because I'm trying to come out with like my own skincare line. I can't stand when celebrities do that shit, you know, all these celebrity endorsements. Like Naomi Watts came out with like hormone stuff. I'm like, who the fuck are you? I said, it's not one size fits all, bitch. Like seriously, I could probably use a shit ton more testosterone, but if I do that, maybe I'll go crazy. I don't know.
Oh my god, you have to send me your routine later. Like literally after this, you have to like send me what you're using and everything.
What's your ethnic background? Because you have the perfect hair.
So I'm half Arab. So my dad is full Libyan, my mum's full Welsh. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. My
Like
hair's
perfect.
wild. Like honestly, it just goes crazy. It is so wild. Like yeah, it needs a brush.
I love it. I don't wash my hair for like 4 or 5 days, so don't worry. You're in good. I gotta wash my hair like sometime this week. I don't know when I'll do it though. Um, I just don't. But so with the pageants, I've got to ask you. So it's so different in the States doing pageants, and what's it like in Europe doing pageants? Is it the same thing like with the stage moms and everything?
No. Like
Really?
literally, I feel like if I watch like a USA film or like anything to do with pageants, it's like way more cheesy. Like in UK, it's just like way more chilled. I think as well, pageants in the UK are like a massive way for the pageants to make money. Like that's like what I sort of realized when I was doing it. Like in order to be in the pageant, like you'd have to get like a business to sponsor you, and like a business would have to pay the pageant, so it could be on its logo and all that type of stuff, and you buy like your own dress and everything, and like you're doing it because like you do get good exposure. Like I got like in like, you know, a few like magazines and stuff and did a few background modeling and stuff like that, so like, you do get good exposure from it. But I think ultimately like you're trying to win because you want that modeling contract, don't you? Yeah, but yeah, I don't feel like it's like that. Like I don't know a lot about American pageants, but it's definitely not cheesy. You don't have like your mum there like, woo, like literally do this, do that. You don't have any of that. It's just quite chilled, and all the girls are just chilled and lovely. It's just, yeah, just chilled.
And these are actual girls that are competing. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, like
Thank
girls
God.
who are in the
Okay.
pageants, like everyone's just lush, like lovely to each other.
Wow, it's like so bitchy here. And you
No.
always get like these guys, like you always have like the fat freaking slob at home in his mom's basement, like watching the girls. Her nose is too big. Oh, her ass is too
Oh,
small. I know. It's like, dude, you're 800 pounds in your mother's basement jacking off. You haven't even
and still
like
a virgin.
the 40-year-old
Literally.
virgin. Exactly.
Literally. Probably like a 60, 70-year-old virgin.
You know, but they exist. And it's kind of like this in wrestling, for example. What even made you decide to get into wrestling of all, like that's a huge switch.
So I started watching it when I was like 8 or 9, and I fell in love with it. So at 14, I found a training school. At 16, I made my debut, and that was it. I got like injured when I was 18, like a trauma ACL, lateral meniscus, medial meniscus. So I did take 4 years out in between. And then I came back at about 22 years old. So about 9 years ago, I came back. But I love it. Like I can't imagine my life without it, and I don't even know why I love it. Like I just love it. Like I enjoy doing it. When I'm wrestling, I just get this feel good feeling. I'm buzzing. It's just such a nice feeling.
It is, isn't it? And I didn't know you were that young. So you're younger than Teddy. Well, I was watching the Teddy Hart documentary. I've had like a couple of encounters with him. He actually made an
Yeah.
outfit for me once. It's pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm like, wait a second, that voice, that ego. Oh shit. Yeah, he called me to work for me years ago. Duh. Uh, where do you train in England? And I love wrestling shows in England, by the way, but where was your school? And were the mats super stiff?
So I trained in Wales first. That's where I live. So Wales is next to England. It's classed as a different country. So I started training there. My first ever training session was, we didn't even have a ring. It was on mats. And I remember like when I finally I think like after a few training sessions, they set up a ring, and I was like, oh my God, a ring. And we did like a rumble, and I was just there doing bulldogs left, right, and center. Like I hadn't even been taught it. I was just doing it because I seen Trish do it. And yeah, so I was there for about a year and a half, like training in a few different places in Wales. And then I found a really good training school in a place called Swindon, which was in England, about an hour and a half, 2 hours from London. And I started training there full time. And when I was 16, I left home and moved to Swindon and trained full time to be a wrestler. Like we'd have training sessions like 4 or 5 times a week. It was fun. I lived in a shared house, and yeah, I grew up very quick.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were a little bit older when you did it, but I'm looking at some of the photos. I'm like, wait a second, was this girl like underage or something? Because it's kind of
Yeah,
perverse. But I mean,
yeah,
you got to be careful. I mean, there are a lot of girls that
100%.
have bad experiences in the States with that. Because then again,
Oh,
America has a lot of nasty, piggish men, not guys who listen to this, obviously, but there are a lot of pigs in the business.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found that out from a young age. Like when I was 14 and I first started training, we had this forum, and literally had about like 15 different men add me on this forum, messaging me. And then I had men who were in their 20s who I'd got with when I was 15. And at the time, when you're insecure and you're a little bit overweight, you feel like, oh, these people, like they really like you, and they make you feel special, make you feel beautiful, especially like when boys in school are not giving you attention and they're giving other girls attention. And only when you're older you realize, oh shit, that's grooming, that's wrong. Like, speaking of models, I had one guy who's a referee, and when I was 15 years old, he basically said to me, because I used to look up to Trish and Lita and all the magazines, like the Raw magazines and stuff, and used to want to do what they wanted to do. And he'd always say, oh yeah, I know people who work for FHM and Nuts magazines, they're like lads mags. And he's like, if you let me take some pictures of you, I can send them to the people. Obviously I didn't know you had to be 18 or anything, so when I was 15 he had me in a hotel taking pictures of me to send to these magazines, which never happened. And there's me thinking, I'm going to be rich and WWE are going to see me and all this type of stuff, yeah. Oh God, men men in wrestling, there's a lot of amazing men in wrestling, but about 10% of them are fucking pigs. Disgusting, isn't they? And
Yeah.
I always say this, even when I came back after injury at 22, I always used to say to my friends, oh, they don't want me now. I said, I'm too old. And I'd make a joke out of it before the speaking out movement even happened. I'd be like, oh, I'm too old. I used to be like, they want the young girls because they can manipulate the young girls. The young girls are naive. They can make the young girls do what they want. When you're in your 20s and you're getting older, you've got a mind of your own. You say no, you're a bit more stricter. But yeah, I always used to say that. It's crazy. They do. It's awful. It's disgusting, but they do.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I tell when guys hit on me that are like 29 or 30, I say, you're too fucking old, ill. So if it makes you feel any better, I always tell people that. I don't know, because I've seen older wrestlers. I feel as though now working where I am, I would think they use older girls for things. Like in Penthouse magazine, whenever they had promotions, they'd always send the older Penthouse pets out to do signings,
Yeah.
because we're more responsible, or you want to think we are. So I would think they'd want more responsible girls like in their 20s or early 30s or something. But you could really do this at any age, to be quite frank with you. Some of the guys that work with me, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but we just, we don't really know any different. Now, have you wrestled a dark match for WWE? Have you contacted them in any way, shape, or form?
No, so I had tryouts to WWE back when it was 2016. So we had tryouts before Raw and before SmackDown. This was before WWE UK happened. So I had tryouts then. It was actually a really good experience. I stayed in touch with Regal for the year after, and then nothing ever happened then, and that was it. And then as I got older, I sort of accepted I wouldn't go to WWE. I found OnlyFans 3 years ago, and I love my OnlyFans. I ain't willing to get rid of that, you know. So yeah, life's changed.
But you can't always think, well, I had Viva Van on the show once before, and she's in PCW Ultra.
Yes,
The
I
one
seen her
yeah,
last
she's
show.
very pretty, and she's really talented and skilled as well.
Yeah.
So it could be any age, but she said something sort of important. She's just going with it and enjoying the journey. And whatever it is that's supposed to come your way, trust me, it'll come
Yeah.
to you. And this is
Yeah.
coming from someone who just like, I just go like, I'll get up and it's a crazy train that wakes up and just goes, and I don't know where it's going to end up. It just ends up somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Just enjoy life.
exactly. And plus maybe, maybe there'll be something else that's different than WWE in a way. Like, and
Exactly.
Steve Regal's a sweetheart. Did you watch him growing? Like, who did you watch growing up in wrestling? Who are your favorites besides
Trish, Lita, the Hardy Boys, Kurt Angle, The Rock, Stone Cold, Chris Jericho. It was 2001 when I started watching it, so it was like the Alliance versus the WWF. So that's a storyline that made me fall in love with wrestling.
What do you think of women's deathmatch wrestling?
I've not seen any women's deathmatch wrestling.
Are you serious?
No, we I think like a few girls have started doing like matches over here, like where like they put what are them toys, the Lego where like they land on Lego and stuff, and like one or two of the girls have started doing like a few matches like that, but nothing like crazy, like where like they're cutting themselves and stuff. I did work for a promotion in San Diego when I was here last, and I think that was a death match place, like, well, not a death match place, but you know what I mean, like a bit like that type of thing. And then I remember coming across XPW's Twitter.
That's where I work. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you do death matches?
I don't do death matches. I could wrestle though, but because of my size, I'm a manager, and also because just of like acting and like everything else, it's kind of, I don't think I'd heal pretty well from that, but I'm around the ring for enough of the blood. I've had like shards of light tube in my arm and in my hair. I got one in my eye.
Oh, God.
I'm around it all the time. Those girls are insane. I mean, they're a special kind of character. And I like being a manager. I don't mind taking big bumps. I don't mind like beating someone up with a kendo stick or anything like that, or using weapons. But the girls are doing it, and it's really, I mean, they're putting it all out there on the line. It's different. What did you think when you saw that in XPW? What were your thoughts on?
You know what? Like when I seen it, I was like, oh my God! Like I was like, I've never done anything like that before. I was like, could I even do it? Like, what if like I'm like that type of person now, like, because I've had so many injuries. I think things through now. So I'm like, right, like, if I do this, am I gonna re-injure myself? Am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do that? But then I guess with a lot of deathmatch wrestlers, they sort of like know how to do it, so they're not getting injured. So like, I guess it's like learning like a totally different thing, isn't it?
It is like
I'd be open.
Yes.
I'd be open to doing like certain matches, then like I probably wouldn't be as daring as a lot of the other girls. I'm that type of girl that like I love doing custom wrestling and stuff like that. And like in our custom wrestling, we do bra and panty matches and stuff like that. Like I'm like more of that girl who loves like the attitude era style things. So I'm like, oh, if an over 18 show ever wants to book me for that type of thing, I'll be all over that, just doing like stink faces and that type of comedy style matches and just having a laugh and maybe taking like one or two like, horrible moves. But like, yeah, but I don't like other people's bloods. I'm like, I really don't like bloods. I'm really squeamish with bloods.
Yeah, I am too. It's like freaky sometimes.
I couldn't have someone else's blood on me. I'd literally I'd die. I'd be like, no, get it off me. I'd literally panic and like run away out of the ring, like, get this off me.
It happened when we had our show in New Jersey. I don't know, there were like 3 people's blood in the ring, and then when he grabbed my face, one of the wrestlers, I didn't know whose blood was on me. I'm like, okay, just go wash my face. Dum-de-dum. But not all the matches are like death matches. Not all of them are, and we don't have a lot of managers because we just
Yeah.
we just restarted the company last year, like a year ago.
Yeah.
So it's different in that respect, but we're doing a lot more different things. But we don't have a lot of girls working there as managers, so you never know. And I like it because it's just,
Ballet.
yeah, no, I like being a manager because we have the old school aspect of it. Plus, he put us
Yeah.
in this really controversial storyline with the mega MAGA faction. So
Yeah.
I'm coming out to the ring, and this woman has her like her hands over her kid's eyes when she sees the flags and stuff, and my Trump
Yeah.
2024 bikini top. She's like in disgust. It was so funny, but then there's so many people that like it, and I think it's fun. I because you don't know where someone stands with anything. You don't like, is it really a storyline or are they really mega MAGA? Like, you just don't know these things, but they're
Yeah.
fun. And that's important. Now, getting back to your injury, you had a torn ACL and meniscus. What's been repaired? Did you get your meniscus sewn? Did they remove it?
So for my ACL, they took my hamstring tendon and they fixed it with that. For my medial and lateral menisci, I'm not quite sure. I think they just went in and scraped away what they needed to do. I'm not sure. I just know I got like a big scar on my knee, like from the ACL's keyhole. I think from the thing then, from like the meniscus tears, like just a long ass scar on my knee.
You see, I
So
had a
yeah.
meniscus issue too, but it wasn't for, I
Oh my
don't know,
God.
just, it was from tennis probably.
Yeah.
Then I was in an improv class, and it's like something just hurt because you're just like running around in physical comedy, but it was worn down from tennis and everything else these years. So they did the surgery, but then I have problems again now. So I don't think he really, well, yeah, maybe because of the pandemic, because I don't think I was really I was exercising, but not warmed up as much.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I'm
no, I
sure
get
your
you.
OnlyFans made shit tons of money during the pandemic.
Oh my God, it was the best time. And I wasn't spending any of it either. I was literally sitting, I was on OnlyFans for like 12 hours a day during the pandemic, just messaging people back and forth, doing lots of photo sets, selling photo sets. It was literally like a full-time job. Like, I built that right up during the pandemic. It was so good. Now I've got like half the amount of subscribers, but it was amazing. Like, it was like a good year or so of just making money and saving it and not spending it.
Yeah, that's a really good deal. So I don't want to know the exact content. You don't have to tell me. What's like, tell us what's on, like, is your OnlyFans spicy? What kind of stuff is on there?
Yeah, so basically, as like, 'cause I've had it for 3 years, you get a bit more confident doing more things, like you start off like being just like, more fully covered, then like you like start off doing more things. So now I do a lot of implied nudes, and I do it because I love my body and I love my curves, and the older I've got, the more I just think you fall in love with yourself as you get older. Like, you learn a lot more about yourself, and and it's things like when I'm walking and stuff now, I'm like, oh, I'm thankful I can walk. I'm thankful I can do all these things, which makes me love my body more. So I do a lot of implied nudes, like a lot of naked bum, a lot of like hands over breasts and stuff like that. Then I do like lots of strip tease style content. I do a lot of custom wrestling content on there, lots of stink faces. I'm very fetish friendly as well, so I do a lot of custom content. So I've had people who want sploshing stuff or feet stuff or like POVs and stuff like that, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll do it. I even get like just loads. Like, I had someone like I made a birthday cake for someone in big granny panties, and I had to put all the ingredients in there and make a birthday cake.
Did you send it to someone?
Yeah, they paid me like 500 quid to do that for them. It's like a 10-minute video. Just like literally, it was like these massive granny panties in the back, and I was literally there like putting flour down there and eggs and stuff, and then literally at the end, then I took them off, and then I just hosed myself down in the garden, hosed the garden down, and it was all done.
Wait, you hose yourself down in the garden. Did your neighbors see this?
I don't care. I don't think they do.
I love it. That's
Like,
excellent.
I've got fences, so they must think, what the fuck's wrong with this person?
I don't know how you girls have the patience. I just told Sophia Locke, who was on my podcast this week, I was Hustler's like guinea pig for a webcam years ago.
Yeah.
I lasted less than like 5 minutes because I was cursing people off. I didn't want to do things. I told some guy to go fuck off. I said, you know what? I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do this. And they just thought it wasn't a good idea. So they just like shut the whole thing down with me. They're like, just go home or something. Like, yeah, fine. I'm not going to fucking do this. I don't have the patience for this because I'm always
Webcams,
outside. I'm always doing things. I'm like a super active person. So
I feel like webcam's a different story. Like I did do webcam years and years ago, and that was so boring because like with webcam, you're trying to keep someone online as long as possible because they're paying you per minute. But with OnlyFans, I'm sort of like sometimes I'll have someone who subscribes to my OnlyFans and they'll just send me a boost. They'll be like, I expected to see fully nude, or I expected to see sex and stuff like that. Why the fuck isn't that on it? I'm like, mate, you just paid $15. Like you haven't like what do you think you're gonna see for $15? Like I'm like, think of it as a strip club. Like you always pay an entry fee to get into a strip club, and then literally you pay more to see more. Like that's how it works, and that's how I think of my OnlyFans. It's literally like a strip club.
well, there's also another thing. See, you're much nicer than I am. If someone said that to me, I'll say nudes of what? Your fucking mother? Or like okay, sex with what? With your farm animal? With you and your farm animal? No, no, no.
Some of them think that they're entitled. It's like they think because they paid that $15, they deserve the world and they're entitled. But majority of people on my OnlyFans are so lovely, and I've built up so many lovely relationships. Like a lot of them, you just chat, general stuff. You know, like it's not even like sexual stuff. Like you're just chatting, just general chit chat. Hey, how are you? Oh, I've been on holiday. Oh, what do you do for work? Oh, how was your job? And there's like a lot of men on my OnlyFans as well who've got mental health and stuff, and they just want someone to talk to. So yeah, because like I was actually texting this boy the other day, and he was like, well, why don't you send me some pictures? And I said, why do I have to? And he said, oh, because you've got OnlyFans. And I was thinking, you're so entitled. I said to him, I said, oh, well, they keep a roof over my head. And he wasn't happy when I said that. But I'm thinking, like, you know, like I know people call OnlyFans subscribers simps and stuff like that, but I don't think of them as that. I think these guys who subscribe to my OnlyFans, they pay a monthly subscription, they buy stuff off me, like, you know, they respect me, they're lovely to me, like, you know, they keep a roof over my head. Like, I've got the life which I love because of them. Like, I'm never gonna slag off like the people who are subscribed. If like, you know, there's a certain thing I'm not comfortable doing, I'll just be like, oh, okay, well, no, I won't do that request. And then it's up to them whether they want to keep subscribing or not.
That's so great. Like you treat it like a business. I noticed one thing during the pandemic is there were a lot of tourists, just kind of sticking, like kind of poking their nose around, maybe wanted to do, maybe not. And maybe they put their feet in it or like those fingers or whatever, little nose into it. Then it just like pop back out because it's not for
Yeah.
them. Do people
Yeah,
ever
100%.
recognize you from OnlyFans? Like it's the other side of the screen. Like I would be freaked out because you don't know who's on the other side.
So people like with OnlyFans, I obviously promote my OnlyFans. The people who are on my OnlyFans, people who follow me on social media. So obviously I don't know who they are. It's crazy actually. My old housemate, we actually thought at one point her boyfriend had joined my OnlyFans, and that freaked me out because I was thinking he comes to my house and sees me in my pajamas and this and that. We don't know whether he did or didn't. Like we never worked it out, but it was just like a few things where we thought that he had. But yeah, like if it was like say someone personal, then it freaked me out. But if it's just someone who's on my social media or something like that, then that doesn't really bother me, you know, because like obviously you don't want to like bump into someone in real life.
Yeah, well, try doing signings and so forth. It's like meeting the other side of eBay. And some of these
Oh,
people, they're nice, very nice, normal people, a lot of them. So I'm looking
yeah,
on my Shopify orders the other day and I see this name. I'm looking it was actually a British address. I'm like, wait a second. My aunt ordered something from there. She ordered
yeah.
one of my canvases in the bubble bath. It's a nice photo though. But then again, she's buying wrestling magazines of me in the UK. I'm like, oh, that's really sweet of her.
Oh, bless her. That's lush.
It is, but she doesn't have to go on my Shopify store and see like everything else. Where do people buy
She's
your merch?
supporting your business.
No,
So mine is Nadia Sapphire .bigcartel.com. You know what? I do need to update my store though.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've got merch on there, but I need to get some new prints and stuff put on there and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm quite shit with merch at the moment, to be honest. I need to be more on it.
Oh my God, I tried to set up my own Shopify store. Like I'm choosing the template. It looks like a total hurricane just hit it, like shit's all over the place. But I appreciate guys like going on there, like, okay, well wait, Jasmine, what's new? Okay, well, so I'm learning. So maybe like by the end of this week, I'll have the store like more together, like I pretend to be. Do you think that having OnlyFans affects your ability with not to wrestle, but just getting bookings and so forth?
It has then, like I know, like, you know, a few promoters who've been completely honest and said that, you know, they won't book me because of OnlyFans. I'm like, yeah, that's totally fair. Like I totally understand, because I think for them they don't want the backlash, because if like there's kids watching the shows, they don't want the backlash from if they Google me. But then you don't see anything. Like if you Google me on the internet, you don't see anything. She can't leak OnlyFans stuff, and if anything ever does get leaked, it gets taken down straight away, type of thing. It's like you can't see it anyway, but then I get the position they're in. So I just sort of like, okay, like that's totally fine. Like I respect that. You know, you've got a business to run. You know, like I wouldn't want to jeopardize anyone's business. So yeah.
You're so sweet. You could just give them my name and, you know, it's just, I was doing shows there. I worked for Alex Shane in England.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
worked other places. I was working in Hawaii. I mean, I was on a show. I was working for NWATNA. So if they really give you that whole thing,
Yeah.
seriously, like, that's just ridiculous. It's their loss at the end of the day. It is their loss. And I mean that. So,
Oh, you're so nice.
no, it's true. No, this is me on a normal day. I'm not always that nice. I just exploded at someone at the gym, but kind of, you know, it's this thing like where you leave your keys at the front of the gym and they give you a lock.
Yeah.
And then they give you back someone else's key. So what if I just walked out of there? I have someone's like car, I have someone's apartment keys and everything.
They got yours as well, like if it was the other way around.
Well, I stopped her. First when I go, oh, you know, your payment, you got to update your payment. I'm like, no, I don't. I said, it went through my bank. Oh, you got to update it. I said, no, here's a screenshot. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And this little twat face has like her pen going. I'm like, you stupid twat. So I just like went about my workout.
Oh my God, you're too funny.
Well, I still have my Fitness First membership. Is that in Wales as well? You're freezing. Hello. Let's see. So she is frozen temporarily. Let's see. Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
You're not frozen now.
It just froze. I'm turning my Wi-Fi on a second, see if that.
It's okay.
Right.
Yeah. Ooh.
Sorry, guys.
No, so do you have Fitness First in Wales?
No, Fitness First got closed down over here, like in the UK. So they don't like. I don't think there's many of them. Like I never see them. So like, yeah, I remember like 3 different health clubs in the UK. When I come over to the States, I think before I signed up to 24 Fitness, I think that's when I was using, because I was traveling around so much, I was just using different like 24s. And I think I used Planet Fitness as well when I was in the US.
Oh, that's the best. Yeah. Well, they haven't taken money out of my Fitness First membership in a while, so maybe it's like gone, but I'll double check. Now I have to like look into this and make sure. So how often do you come to the States? And is this what you do full time? I know that OnlyFans is a full-time thing, but is it just that and wrestling and aspirations of getting on page 3?
So for me, so I do OnlyFans, that's like my main income. Then I own a custom wrestling company in the UK, so do a lot of customs. I own a wrestling promotion in the UK, and then I wrestle myself. So yeah, I live off whoever Nadia Sapphire is, because all the people on my OnlyFans are wrestling fans. So yeah, I just live off the person I've created, I guess.
So what's your promotion in the UK? What's the name of it?
It's called Wrestling Society. We launched at the start of the year, so January 2022, and we've done about 9 or 10 shows this year. I think it's 9, so it's going really well so far. So yeah, just seeing how it goes.
Well, I ran a promotion before, 3PW Wrestling. That was my promotion. And it was such a pain in the ass dealing with like half naked men with egos. So, what do you think are some of the challenges of being a female promoter?
So from what I know in the UK, there's not like there's females who run wrestling shows with their partners, but not on their own, like where like they finance the show, they sort out the show, like like they are the boss. So I think I'm the first person to do that in the UK, which is pretty cool. But honestly, the boys who I book are so lovely. Like for me, it was always creating a locker room where we have nice people, where you don't have egos, and people are for the show, not for their match. Like they know their place on the card. They know what style match they're going to do. They're not stealing people's finishers and all that type of stuff. So we've got like a really good thing going, and we've had so many compliments, people saying, oh my god, like this backstage atmosphere is really nice and stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep it like that. If we have any dickheads, they won't get booked again. I've got like a friend called RJ Singh, like in the UK. I don't know if you would have met him back in the FWA days.
Who?
RJ Singh, he's been going for like 25 years.
I know of him. Yeah, I heard the name.
Yeah, but he now books my card for me, so he books my shows, so it just makes life that little bit more easier. And he's got so much knowledge, like he's so good and everyone respects him, so it just makes life easier for me anyway. But honestly, like I've got like a really good team of like 8 to 10 lads who are just so lovely to me, so respectful, and just want to help. If I ask them to do something, they'll do it. And yeah, it's just like really nice. So yeah, we haven't had any challenges with any dickheads in the locker room yet. It's all been really nice, but I think it's because I've been on the UK scene so long, I know who the dickheads are, so I wouldn't even bring them in to begin with.
It's a learning process. What was your sign again?
Sign.
When were you born?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Leos. Okay. I mean, I think that's really great, because I remember doing this whole thing of having a promotion, and my problem wasn't, so it's always like the opposite promotion. And at the time ROH was coming up. So
Yeah.
there'd be some problems here and there with them. And I remember the one night we had X-Pac against Sabu, and that was our main event, and we sold out the arena. But I think the biggest problem I had, because Todd Gordon was booking for me, he was in ECW. But the biggest problem I had was everyone thought it was the Blue Meanies promotion. I'm like, he can't even fucking like, no.
You're the brains behind it.
Yeah, hello. Not to be like a jerk off. No, fuck it. Just, and to be a jerk off, and to be truthful, the guy was great on the computer.
Yeah.
But you give him a freaking pen to go sign stuff and write script or whatever, it's not happening that well. So yeah. No, it wasn't him, it was me. But at least everyone knows it's you. What?
That's amazing that you ran a promotion. And how long were you doing that for?
I did that for, let's see, 3PW was like 2 years, and we had DVDs. We were on Sky TV. Was it?
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I forgot who my contact was there, but it was amazing. And like, one of my dreams is to go back to the UK and act again and do everything, because it's a beautiful place. Wales, UK, Scotland, Ireland. Maybe I'll see a leprechaun. Maybe I'll meet the Loch Ness monster. Hey, he is real. Do you think the Loch Ness monster is real?
I've not really looked into it, so I don't know. Like, that's a Scottish thing, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think he's real. It's real. Like I studied it like 2 years in a row for school.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's real. Like, I want to think so. So like one day, maybe from there, I'll see it and I'll be able to like pet his head and say, hi, Lucky. Oh, Nessie.
If you go in, I'll come with you and we'll go find
Yeah, we'll go
together. We'll vlog it.
Yeah, we're like, look at us. We're with the Loch Ness monster in Scotland. So when are you coming back to the States, and who do you work for in the States mostly?
So I'm due to come back to the States end of January, mid-February. I've got a few bits coming up in Vegas for Versus Pro. I'll have a few bits coming up for New Tradition, Lucha Libre as well. Lucha Pro, I'll have some stuff coming up for. So yeah, I haven't set a lot of stuff in stone yet. So I need to just like, yeah, I think I'm just trying to get Christmas out the way first. but yeah, I love it there because the weather's so nice. Like the weather's just amazing, and I love just driving. Like I always get like a Mustang, and I rent a Mustang, and I literally have my roof down, and I'm just there chilling, music on, loving life, driving to beaches. It's just amazing. Like I've always wanted to travel, and I'm so happy now that, like, you know, my OnlyFans funds that. So I travel a lot, whether even in Europe I travel a lot, and then I just, when I'm in the US, I'm like, okay, if I can pick up a few bookings, I'll pick up a few bookings. If I don't, I don't, because I'm just happy traveling and just being in the sun and just seeing things, being in my own company. I love it.
That's awesome. You're your own boss babe, CEO,
Yeah.
like for real. So many people like want that and they just don't get the whole thing. Do you think do you have a huge fan base in the States as well?
Yeah,
You do,
like
yeah.
I think a lot of my social media is mainly people from the States who follow me. Yeah, like even like with YouTube, it's mainly people from the States, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just because there's more wrestling fans in the States. Because even like my TikTok, I was looking at on my thing the other day, and majority of people who follow me are from the States. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
That's good. So maybe I'll meet you at like WrestleCon or something like that. Because you do a lot of the conventions, the signings.
No, I've never done one.
Cool. See, that's so much fun. It's like a whole other thing. I love doing signings because I get to meet fans, but I also
Yeah,
get to see my friends that I haven't seen in a long
yeah.
time and get photos and have like that whole nice memory. It's
Oh, I
really
love that.
a special thing.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That does.
It can be. So why don't you give us your social media handles?
So my Instagram is just Nadia Sapphire. My Twitter is Nadia_Sapphire. I think my TikTok's Nadia_Sapphire, I think. And then my OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/Nadia_Sapphire.
It's a cute
And
name.
yeah,
It
that's it,
really
I
is.
think I got. Yeah. And then YouTube. I'm always just like, just search me. And like, there's so many fake social medias of me, especially on Instagram. And Instagram won't verify me, even though, like, you know, I've sent them like news articles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not going to pay for Twitter to verify me either. But
You have
like
to
this,
pay? Whoa, stop.
yeah,
You have to pay to
you
verify?
can pay. You can pay now for Twitter to verify you. And I'm like, no, I'd rather have it on merit. So I'll wait. But like, there's so many like fake accounts for me. So just say to people, when you look at them, you'll know which one's real because it's got like a lot more followers and stuff like that. It's only got 100 followers, then you know it's fake. But it's same TikTok, there's fake accounts for me. Like there's so many fake accounts. So I wish I could get verified just because of that. Because someone messaged me the other day, someone was like sending their PayPal, asking for money and just all that type of shit. And I'm like, that ain't me. Like, it's not me, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, you should get verified. I was knocked off Twitter. I was knocked off Instagram because they thought my account was a fake account. I'm like, how is this a fake account, asshole? I
Oh
had
my
like at the
God.
time I had like
Instagram is
10,000.
a nightmare.
They won't like even verify me, but I'm verified on Facebook and Twitter. But hey, who cares, you know? Last thing, actually, I did forget to ask you, how would you define your style of wrestling? That you do in the ring?
Basic
Basic? Okay, that's fine. So much
character, very,
huh?
very character. Like, I got a really good heel character, really good at getting heats and stuff like that. But then as a baby face, I can like be a baby face. Like I did used to have like a really sick German suplex, Northern Light suplex and stuff like that. But I had like 4 injections in my spine a few months back because I've got like a back injury. So I'm currently healing that and getting like rehab and stuff in between wrestling. But once that's totally healed, I can start doing all my cool suplexes again. So then I won't be as basic. I'll be the suplex queen.
Well, whatever you do is wonderful. And you know, it's all wrestling, it's always all kinds of components that make a great wrestling show. Managers, deathmatch wrestlers, high flying matches, regular, awesome, great matches. You know, everything. It just is always something for everyone, you know.
I love a ballet. Like I love managers
Ballets,
on
yeah.
like I spent so many years balleting people, and honestly, like people don't give ballets enough credit, especially like there's so many like guys who are like brand new, and I'd valet them and I'd get their heat for them. So that's one thing less they wouldn't have to worry about. And then I'd know their match if something was happening. I could communicate with the ref or communicate, like, you know what I mean? Like, people don't see that as managers. Like, there's so much like valets really set the tone for matches. I feel like I call them valets, but yeah, you call them managers. But yeah, like they really set the tone. Like they're like, I think they're amazing to have on shows.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a whole thing of ring psychology. And like we have a faction, so it's like 4 people ring, it's 3 people outside of the ring, 1 person in the ring. But yeah, you have to get the heat for them. And we do it, you know, as best as we could. And when you have all these like chains of communication, it's just this whole other dynamic you're dealing with. So sometimes you just got to go with it, but you don't want to surprise anyone either if you hit them with a chair, because that's not very nice.
It makes life so much more easy, I think, having a valet.
Yeah. So make sure whoever, I don't know who the page 3 person is, but yeah, just that is one of the aspirations like here today. So it has to happen somehow or another.
I'd love to be on page 3 or in a lads mag or something, you know, like just something published. Like, have you like never done Playboy or nothing?
Me? Yeah, I've done European Playboy. I've done Brazilian Playboy. I was in the Book of Lingerie. I've been a bunch of like, I've done
That's amazing to do
so many
Playboy.
of these. I did FHM.
Like,
yeah.
So many girls when like that's what I mean. Like, how are you not on page 3 if you've done all that? Like, that's amazing.
Maybe because I don't know, like I feel as though, yeah, whoever the hell, you know, screw this. I'm gonna go look it up and I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna like harass them until they have a
Yeah.
I didn't just say
There's
I want to be on
page
3.
3. Yeah, there's loads of different companies.
Fox was on page 3, you know?
Yeah. Put me on page 3.
We want to be on page 3 and that's it. Case closed. But sit tight after we're done. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And do not forget to vouch for us to get on page 3. But most importantly, follow Nadia Sapphire, and hopefully, you know, some more promotions bring you over to the States and fans get to meet you or some conventions. It'll be awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so lush. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you're enjoying the ride on Crazy Train with Jasmine St. Clair podcast. So if you are, do me a huge, huge favor. Woo! Please go ahead. Go on to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever, but Apple's great. Give me a nice rating and review. Send me a screenshot, and I promise you, I will send you a special goodie bag. So please rate and review Crazy Train with Jasmine St. Clair podcast. And in exchange for that, once I see the DM with the review and your name and address, I will get those gift bags out to you. I'm not going to tell you what's in it.